They said be quiet, just play your part. But I lost it all trying to listen to my heart. Friends fell off when the fire got real. Family vanished when the wounds wouldn't heal. Lydia's face in my mind through the dark. Her laugh echo loud as my spark in the arc. Marriage gone like a whispering wind. While I stood for the truth, they ain't want me defend. Felt betrayal from the ones I fed. Same ones now praying I wind up dead. Courtroom lies, I ain't fold or retreat. Even caged in the system, I refuse defeat. Took every loss, still sharpen my aim. They laughed when I cried, now remember my name. Gave up peace, gave up love, gave up art, but I never gave up. I listened to my heart. Took my freedom, took my name, tore my life apart, but I still stood tall. I just listened to my heart. Lost love, lost friends, left me out in the dark, but I never lost soul. I just listened to my heart. They can't kill truth, can't change what's real, can't stop this voice or the way I feel. So through the pain, the war, the coldest start, I walk this road alone, still listening to my heart.
What's up, everybody? I am here. Had some issues with the
they broke the chains, but I walked out free. Every scar they carved just empowered me. 2017 Lafayette's chokehold grip. Sheriff's badge turned to a power trip. Mississippi flag in my righteous hand. Public sidewalk where free citizens stand. Timmy Pruitt
share this stream.
Manufactured rage. No permit, lies wrap me in the cage. Asked for his badge number. Exercise my right. They cuffed me up in broad Mississippi daylight. Video went viral, whole county shook. They fired back with a felony book. False stalking charge, legal masquerade. All to indemnify the mess they made. 2018, November's bitter frost. Lizzie Crowder weaponized what mattered most. Filed false rape, turned love to a courtroom game. 2 years grinding through manufactured shame. 2020 she pled out, escaped the cell. Paid her fine while my world went to hell. Support for Lydia suddenly flipped and betrayed. 4 years lost, no father-daughter serenade. No bedtime stories, no calls relayed. Just silence where our laughter used to cascade. December 2021, the storm returned. Alcorns ripped while Lafayette bridges burned. Joey East crew snatched me ice cold. No evaluation, no facts, no lawful
Hey, share the stream, y'all. Get it out there. Get the number up.
North Miss meds clouding my mental alignment. February 22, they came once more. Alcorns fabrications walked through the door. Newborn son in the ER sacred light. They cuffed me up, stole that holy night. 7 days in solitary's concrete cave. Then East Miss pharmaceuticals to enslave. June 2022, walked through the hall. Oxford City standing dignified and tall. Camera rolling, made a clerk request. Public records, constitutional quest. But they twisted it, spun their narrative line. Mayor claimed
What's
fear
up,
to blur the
everybody?
Constitutional line. Dusted off that restraining order from 17.
I was hoping to stream you on a little earlier so you could watch
Walking through
Sundown.
City Hall, for asking questions, for standing up
Nation's
tall.
capital.
October 22, I fought the machine again. Marched the FBI, laid truth before federal men. Oxford office, evidence carefully laid. But Beavers and
we're gonna have a talk. I got the link for the
November 1st.
Streamyards posted in the comments.
They swallowed me whole, killed Patrick campaign, riding on my back, use my persecution to advance her political
Drop something in the comments, let me know you're there.
Carved in stone, paid the price, stood defiant alone. August 23, Galveston, suffocating heat. Journalist on assignment, working the street. Allstein's traffic stop, perfectly staged night. False default, we had charged, no sobriety test in sight. 11 months buried, holding my breath. Extradited back to face judicial death. July 24, kangaroo court show. 2-year sentence with zero proof to show. But January 25, post-conviction win. January 22nd, I walk free again. February 1st, Utah's deceptive call. Latent ground, but predatory eyes on all. Sesames reached across state lines, spinning webs with defamatory signs. Rich and spread poison wide. Roaring 39 names caught in their slanderous tide. Orrington blocked. Grammar's light. Layton City officials dim constitutional sight. March 28th, I dialed that phone. City Hall reception, cold as stone. March 31st, face federal walls. Salt Lake City, where justice calls. They demanded ID. Background inspection.
Oh, there he is, the man of the hour.
Protection took my place.
What's going on there, Mr. Leroy Truth? You got, I'll let you know your personal account.
That still remains. Crowder's war, these invisible chains. Lydia's voice,
That's
4
harder.
years stolen away. No good night hugs, no Father's Day. Mother and daughter separated by lies. While I break through these core-constructed skies, filed lawsuits. A line of names, Sesames, McCutcheon, their corruption games. Arrington Shield, Layton's wall, Oxford's influence, spanning it all. For Lydia's future, for truth's bright flame, for everything stolen, for clearing my name. This is the anthem, the reckoning beat. Stripped to silence, back on my feet, this ain't over. This is the ascension. Next verse I drop breaks through that dimension. From Lafayette's mud to Galveston's bars to Layton's walls and federal scar. Yes, I'm the voice. They tried to silence through fear, but I'm amplified now. Crystal clear.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? See if that holds. Okay. So, I mean for that to play again. All right, so I'm over here in the nation's capital, right outside of, well, the Capitol, Washington Monument, here to redress my grievances the only way that I know how. And hope to see that the right of redress hasn't been completely destroyed. First time being all the way up here in Washington, D.C. So I wanted to play something that I think that you'll all find very, very interesting. We're going to go on a deep dive, okay? There's certain things that that I've been digging into as far as everything over the last 8 years, which has brought me on my journey over here to the nation's capital. And actually, I'm probably going to have to push that out. It says that it can't do a file over 30 megabytes. Now, let me see if I can. No, that is M4A. I don't think I can get that file down small enough. Yeah, I've got a detailed timeline actually, and I'm going to pull this up because I think this is very important. Let me take this echo off right here. So let me share my screen too. Okay. Oh, I still don't have the screen. Okay. I got to get used to adding this to the stage. I was looking at my screen. So what we got here is those that want to know more about, the ins and outs of everything and why everything is as crazy as it is. I mean, it's, people want to know, well, how is it that, this could happen, this could happen. I'll tell you why it's not only possible, but it's actually factual. And this timeline actually details everything out, and you'll also hear this on the deep dive here later tonight. I was going to try to get it played on this broadcast, but apparently the file is too large. April 26, 2017. So I was in the Marine Corps from December of 2007 until May of 2011. I was discharged for alcohol rehabilitation failure. Those are the facts, okay? Fact. Whenever I was in combat training, after I got out of boot camp back in 2018, I went to combat training over at a sub base it's like an auxiliary based Camp Lejeune over in Jacksonville, North Carolina. There, while I was on a roving post, it was in the wee early hours of the morning, 2, 3 o'clock. I came around the side of this building that I was, on a patrol on, and the guy that was on armory watch and training put the M16 in his mouth, put it on 3-round burst, and pulled the trigger. The Marine Corps is already a drinking fraternity as it is, but I self-medicated over the top for what I had witnessed. Okay. The Marine Corps, for whatever reason, brought in high brass that came in and basically labeled this incident that happened as a training accident. Why they labeled it as a training accident, I don't know. I have no clue, because ultimately, at the end of the day, that means that the government had to pay out death benefits to his family, whereas I'm not so sure that they would have gotten the death benefits, or the same death benefits, had it have been labeled as a suicide. I had stressed this stuff whenever they clamped down on me and were kicking me out from drinking. I went to rehab, got out, and they caught me with a bottle of alcohol in my hand, and that one thing led to the next. Well, I've said all along that I think that my discharge was, I think that it was a mischaracterized discharge. That, this thing where I witnessed a suicide and it was labeled a training accident, that wasn't a training accident. So I was doing this dig into the Marine Corps back in 2017, April 26th, and this is all verified via email and verified through an attorney that I had. I had sent in a FOIA request to the Marine Corps demanding the changes in the standard operating procedures, because at that time when that happened, they changed the standard operating procedures to disallow live ammunition on armory watch for students. I also requested the casualty list of any Marine at Camp Lejeune or any surrounding bases over the course of, I think it was like 3 or 4 months. I got to pull up the email. Okay, it was a span, because I knew where it was. I didn't want to specify exactly what month, what I was going for. Sure enough, got the results, but I didn't get the results until I gave a final legal demand to the Marine Corps, sent to First Lieutenant Bastian at the Marine Corps headquarters in Quantico, Virginia, on May 25th, 2017. That was a key date. May 25th, I also met with the FBI about the sham restraining order taken out on me by the Tannehills as a prior restraint. So before I convolute it any further, I'd like to kind of go in order and stick to the timeline right here, the factual timeline. This stuff is verified by documents, evidence, emails. My ex and I had a child, Lydia, born August 19th, 2014. July 8th, 2016. Well, it's kind of listed backwards right there. August 2016, a court order is entered in Lafayette County Chancery Court regarding child support between Matthew Reardon and Phyllis Crowder. Lydia Elise Reardon begins residing with Phyllis at yada yada. All right. Like I said, April 26th, I submitted a FOIA request. There is the FOIA request number to Marine Corps Base Quantico, requesting standard operating procedures for Marine Combat Training East. Initial contact made with First Lieutenant Talia Bastian. May 1st, 2017. Okay, let's keep in mind these dates and how everything is connected. So 5 days later, I conduct a peaceful protest on public property in Lafayette County, holding the Mississippi state flag that the city of Oxford had removed from city property while taking state-funded tax dollars. Deputy Timmy Pruitt confronts me, repeatedly asking for a permit, despite the constitutional protection for such activity. I asked for Pruitt's badge number, prompting Pruitt to state he will arrest me for disorderly conduct. I'm arrested for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest, booked into Lafayette County Detention Center. A temporary restraining order is signed by a chancellor against me, requested by Mona Pittman on behalf of Phyllis Crowder, my ex. This order is later found to be procedurally defective. May 8th, Deputy Shaquille Williams receives a call from Ricky Weaver about Matt Reardon trying to get his state flag from Weaver's house. Let me see. I want to try to keep this in a separate windowed screen so I can keep an eye on the comments. Tell you what, I wish I could get that deep dive to. Actually, I might know what to do. Let me do this. No, I can't. On the wrong laptop. Okay. So anyways, basically, here's I'm just going to wrap this up in a pretty short little statement, okay? I thought, I wasn't thinking about the bigger picture here, about everything that, had transpired and was transpiring now. I had continuously thought that everything that happened, stemmed from the arrest on the square, May 1st, by Timmy Pruitt, the video that went viral, and they had to cover up for. But now, after doing just going back through everything, through my emails back at that time, it's more than a coincidence that within 24 hours, actually it was less than 24 hours later, after I sent that final demand letter to the Marine Corps, and they received it, saying that you've got 24 hours to turn over these records or else I'm going to file suit. And I had the attorney sitting right next to me. That the next morning they send an email saying that they've approved turning over all documents, which proved, by the way, the claims that I've been making, but also within hours of that approval email getting sent, I get hemmed up in Lafayette County on what I've said since day one has been a completely fictitious and made up charge. 100% completely fictitious and made up. And they've deepened and widened the conspiracy since that time. I've wondered why, for all this time, the FBI has stood down and refused to do their job. I've met with them numerous times about major constitutional right violations, disgusting conspiracy that had gone on, that had taken place primarily involving Lafayette County. And all this time, they've stood by with their thumb up their ass and not done a damn thing. And then I talked to the U.S. Attorney from the Southern District, the Assistant U.S. Attorney Aaron Chalk, a couple of weeks ago, about the attack that happened outside of the governor's mansion. And she said that she had turned everything over to the FBI. I stressed over and over that I don't trust that they're going to do any type of work when it comes to that. They're not gonna, hold the wrongdoers accountable, or the wrongdoer, because I'm the guy that it happened to. They haven't done anything yet. What's going to make them start now? And that's once again reinforced by the fact that I get a call from an FBI impersonator. Okay? Clearly an imposter. Clearly an imposter. Reported it to her, to the DOJ, asked for a simple reply acknowledging receipt of the email. And they won't even do that. They're willing to allow somebody to call and say that they are an FBI agent. That was definitely 100% not an FBI agent, and not even address that. And now it makes complete sense, because my fight back then was with Marine Corps Base Quantico, the headquarters of the Marine Corps, which is also where the FBI Training Academy is. It's basically the catalyst for the FBI. So here I am, been pulled into the Washington swamp. All this refusing to make a return phone call, refusing to reply to an email It's not going to be the case now. All right? Because one thing that I am is relentless. I'm going to get an answer. I'm demanding accountability. Not just for me. Because at this point, it's far beyond me. You need to see it's for everybody. Because this right here, I don't think anybody really truly understands the size of it, the how large the involvement is and what it stretches and what's at stake for everybody else if they're allowed to get away with this. And I know that I cannot be the only person that this has happened to. Not with the way that they've carelessly just swatted me away, ignored. Let me hey, if anybody wants to see, clearly my stream's being limited. I see less than a handful of people on there, and I would be willing to bet that at least one or two of them are law enforcement, like always. But if anybody wants to come up here, the link is in the comments. But yeah, let me do this. So it was brought to my attention earlier. There's some concerning things going on. There's somebody that that was out and exposing, from my understanding, Sean Tyndall, who is over the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. And that person, they tried to do the same thing to that person that they did to me. Same thing that they did to somebody else down in Saucier, Mississippi. Luckily, with me, they didn't take it to the extent that they took it to with these other individuals. But I was told that earlier today or yesterday that there's a guy that he was coming out with information on Sean Tyndall, and they served him with a 5150 commitment affidavit. Brought a damn police force or whatever out to his place, and the word is that he committed suicide. But I really have trouble believing that. I believe that there's a lot more to that, because I've seen firsthand how dirty the state of Mississippi is, particularly whenever they get involved with, they try to do the whole looking out for somebody's mental health. Now these are criminals. That was a move to silence that person. I mean, these are real dangerous people. These are real dangerous people. Let me see. I'm going to try to get that. I think I'm going to have to end this live stream so I can get that thing uploaded and send it back live. That is what I'm going to have to do. I thought I could do it on this, and it's giving me issues on Streamyards, but not to worry. I've got a way of dealing with that, and I can get that live without having to go through Streamyards. So let me. I'm gonna do that now. All right, here, stand by, and I'm gonna come back live with the deep dive. This time, it's not gonna be on Streamyards. Yeah, hey, Katie, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna go back live in vertical mode on Switcher on my phone, and yeah, because right now I've got this thing live streamed to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Facebook. But hey, good to see you, Katie. Hey, Bob Smith, tune back in for the deep dive. I want you to listen to this. This is some absolutely just jaw-dropping, bizarre shit. Y'all need to know the truth. Y'all need to know factually, and this takes into account every document, every court filing, everything that's actual legal evidence proof. You're not going to want to miss this. Okay, I'll be back live here in just a minute.